Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at and installing the Corsa Xtreme catback exhaust with gunmetal tips for 2018 GT Mustangs that have active exhaust. Now you're going to want to be checking this out if you're looking for one of the loudest catbacks that's currently available for the 2018 GT Mustang that has active exhaust. And not only does this thing deliver on both sound and volume, but it's also top of the line when it comes to quality, fitment, and materials. This catback is definitely going to be for someone who doesn't mind paying for all of those qualities. It costs about $2,300. When it comes to the install, I'll call it a 2 out of 3 wrenches in the difficulty meter. As far as loudness goes, I'm definitely going to call this one a 5 out of 5 on the loudness meter, with 1 being a quiet upgrade and 5 being a very loud upgrade. Do keep in mind though that this is an active exhaust catback, which means that you can quiet it down when you want to or when you need to. When it's in quiet mode, I'd actually call it a 1 out of 5 on the loudness meter. With all that being said, let's go ahead and show you how to get this installed. For this install, we used a 10mm socket, 11mm socket, 13mm socket, a 15mm socket, a small extension, a 3/8 impact gun, and a rubber mallet is always nice to have. Alright guys, so we can drop our factory catback as one big piece, and that's what we're going to do. We'll start by loosening the clamps up here in front of the resonator, and these are 15mm. Alright guys, now we're going to move towards the back of the car, and I personally like dropping the exhaust with the hangers still attached. So these are 13mm bolts here. We'll go ahead and undo those. We are going to leave the hanger still clipped into the body. This will actually hold the exhaust up for us. Alright, and now we'll move to the hangers at the very back of the car. Alright, so this is an active exhaust car. Before we remove the exhaust, we will need to disconnect our active exhaust, which is this connection right here. Alright, we're going to go ahead and move over to the other side and do the exact same thing on the other side. We'll remove both hanger bolts, but leave the hangers clipped into the body still. Alright, we'll also disconnect the electrical connection on this side as well. Alright guys, at this point you're ready to remove the catback. You might need a second set of hands to help you out. I'm going to call in a second set of hands. What we're going to do is we're going to remove the hangers from the body of the car first, and then we'll push back and release from these clamps here. Alright guys, so there's a ton to say about the Corsa Xtreme catback. It is the loudest catback system in the Corsa lineup, and arguably one of the loudest catbacks that you can pick up for the 2018 Mustang. This is active exhaust compatible, and the cool thing about that is for those of you that thought the Corsa Xtreme could be a little bit too loud before, you now have those 4 exhaust modes that you can put the Corsa Xtreme through. So if you guys need to quiet this thing down, if you want to quiet it down at any time, you always have the option to do that, and it's pretty cool to get a different tone range from the Corsa Xtreme than just a standard note. So this is made of 304 stainless steel, and it is a 3-inch system. It does come with adapters, which we will use today, which means that you can bolt up to your stock cat pipes if you want to, or you can run a full 3-inch system. It comes with the Corsa double helix X pipe. So traditionally speaking, an X pipe gives a different tone than an H pipe. It's a little bit louder, you have more volume, and a little bit of raspy notes to it. And the double helix X pipe that Corsa gives you just gives the exhaust a little bit of a different path than a standard X pipe does. You then have Corsa straight through mufflers. So once again, these are loud, and the cool thing about it is that you can tone it down with the active exhaust if you want to. These also have absolutely no drone at all, which is great from such a loud system. And the entire system ends in 4-inch gunmetal tips, which are a little bit different. You have another option other than black here. With all that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get the Corsa installed on the car. All right guys, so we need to transfer over our hangers from our stock catback over to the Corsa. Might want to use a little WD-40. I use some PB Blaster. It just helps get these off a little bit easier. The next thing we have to do is swap over the actuator. So Corsa gives us this tip, which is all perfectly set up for us. All we have to do is remove the 3 bolts that are holding the one in place on our stock catback and transfer it over to this tip. So these are 10mm nuts here. We'll go ahead, remove them, and then pull off the actuator. One thing to keep in mind is that both the tips and the actuators are side specific, so just make sure when you transfer these over, you're transferring over to the correct side. So our passenger side actuator will need to go on the passenger side tip on the passenger side of the new Corsa. There's also a little spring in here, which I'll show you guys in 1 second. We have to make sure that we grab the spring out of here and install it in the new Corsa tip in the correct orientation. All right, so this spring actually stayed in the actuator, which is great news for us. All we have to do at this point is just go ahead, set this in the new Corsa tip, and leave it just like it is. All right guys, so Corsa gives you new hardware for the actuator, so just make sure you switch over to the new hardware. We'll go ahead, we'll grab our tip. Once again, we're gonna make sure that we have the correct side. We will lay our actuator in place. You guys will see this spring, this piece right here needs to sit very specifically in the actuator here. There's a little groove in the actuator for the spring to sit in. So we're gonna go ahead. We can actually turn our actuator to help us get this lined up correctly, which is what I'm gonna do. I'll use my hand to rotate the actuator so I can get the spring lined up properly. Now that it's lined up, you guys can see my bolt holes are a little bit off. So I am working with a spring here, so there is going to be a little bit resistance. So I'm going to hold my actuator with one hand. I'm going to grab my hardware and start threading these in place. Just know that a little resistance here is actually necessary and it's going to happen. Just make sure you don't cross thread your bolts. Now we'll tighten down. From here, we'll go over and do the other side. Got lucky with this side as well. The spring stayed on the actuator. Now we'll do the same thing with this tip. We'll line up our spring in the groove. Once it's sitting correctly, we will just rotate the actuator slightly so our bolt holes line up. All right, and with our actuators taken care of, we can go ahead and get our X-pipe in place on the car. All right guys, so we'll start with our adapters. We'll take the factory band clamps off of the front of the resonator and put them on our adapters. We'll go ahead and slide these in place now. And just like with any exhaust install, we're gonna leave all of our clamps loose until we have everything lined up and in place. All right guys, so now I have our Corsa double helix X-pipe. I also have a pole jack here that's gonna help me. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slide this end into our adapters here. I already have 2 clamps on the pipes waiting. Just be sure that before you install your X-pipe, you have clamps on there. The X-pipe installs this way with the Corsa bracket facing down. We'll go ahead, slide these into place. I'm just gonna grab our pole jack to hold the X-pipe up for me. All right guys, now we'll grab a muffler assembly, and once again, I already have a clamp in place over the X-pipe. I have my 2 hangers here. I'm gonna slide this into the X-pipe, and then I'll go ahead and clip the hangers into the body, and that'll hold everything up for us. All right guys, we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. We'll slide our muffler assembly in place into the X-pipe and then clip our hangers into place. All right guys, so before we tighten down any of our clamps, what we're actually gonna do is get our tips installed. So Corsa gives you a V-band clamp for your active exhaust tip. So you're gonna wanna be using the V-band clamp on the active exhaust side. We took the nut off. We will slide this up and into place. With the clamp in place, we'll go ahead and tighten it. And we will route our active exhaust harness, plug it back in, and clip it back into the body as well. All right, now we'll grab our other tip. We have an exhaust clamp here. We'll make sure we get a clamp on the tip. We'll get this in place and tighten down, and then we'll go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. All right guys, now we're gonna go through and tighten down all of our clamps and our hangers. So we are switching back to the 15mm socket for that. And we'll start at the front and move towards the back. Alright guys, that's going to wrap up this review and install. Keep in mind you can always check this catback out more online right here at AmericanMuscle.com.